Welcome back to CVC Interviews. My name's Joyce Vaudreuil from Vernon. And tonight's interview is with a couple of women who are working with the students and teenagers of Vernon. So I'd like to introduce to you tonight Cassie and Caitlin from Vernon Rocks. Thank you very much for coming tonight, Caitlin, Cassie.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
I love hearing about programs with teenagers. You know, as a certified teacher, it's near and dear to my heart. So what exactly does the Vernon Rocks, it's a coalition?
Yes. So it's a community coalition that works to prevent youth from using substances. So we focus on underage drinking and prescription drug misuse prevention. So it's a community group. It involves all the different town departments like the police department, the Youth Service Bureau, Parks and Recreation, of course the schools, and then we also have treatment providers and faith-based organizations, different civic organizations. Everyone just comes together to try to come up with different ways to prevent kids from starting to use drugs.
So it sounds like typical wraparound services.
Yes.
Where you get them at all angles.
We try to, yeah.
You try to. They can be slippery, huh?
Yes.
But what are some of the things you do? Cassie, I love to hear more about Real Talk.
Yeah, so Real Talk was a campaign that the students started last summer. They actually looked at previous campaigns to try to decide what they wanted to go for, what they liked and didn't like about previous substance abuse prevention campaigns. So they came up with the name themselves. They developed a yearbook style theme because they thought that was something that their peers would be able to relate to really well. And from there, they really went with the messaging to make sure that it was positive and something that could reflect Vernon in a positive light, and something that could encourage their peers to be doing the right thing and staying substance free.
Well, I'll tell you, you can't have too much of that.
Right.
So I like that you've guided them, but they took control over the messages.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And how does Real Talk display itself with the yearbook? Is it something they plan to do every year, or is it every year a new big project?
So since it's just started last year, we're kind of still working on what the progression of Real Talk will continue to be. But in the last year alone, we had billboards up at the bottom of the high school hill. We had posters made that were displayed in the high school and displayed around businesses and organizations in Vernon. So we actually had alcohol retailers displaying these messages to make sure that children weren't gaining access to alcohol as well.
Well, I'm sure the owners of the different stores are happy to get involved with something like that. It's in their own best interest,
Right.
to make sure that the right people are their customers.
Exactly.
What are some of the things you do in a typical week, Caitlin?
So we manage social media posts that target either the youth themselves or their parents. So it's teaching parents to make sure they're looking out for signs that their children may be using, encouraging them to lock up their alcohol or their prescriptions, and also some other like youth development type of messages. So making sure that their kids are involved in different activities, either in the community or in their school. Making sure that the parents are sitting down and talking to their kids just about life in general, not necessarily about...
Oh yeah, we all look forward to that.
Yeah, exactly. Encouraging them to tell their kids to put their phones down, like, let's have a conversation, let's talk, just to make sure that, they're checking in with their kids, because sometimes, there's something going on with their children that they just don't show signs, so...
Yeah, that's a great way. You give them an opportunity to understand what the kids are doing, so they know what to ask.
Right. Exactly.
So on the side of social media, I mean, someone my age, it's really been a tough haul to get to the point where I'm using it on a regular basis.
Right.
So what are some of the most popular platforms that you use?
So we primarily use Facebook and Instagram, and then we do a little bit on Twitter, but not as frequently. We try to post on Facebook at least a few times a week, and we really try to capture parents and adults in that platform.
Good. Very good.
So as Caitlin said, that's where we do a lot of our targeted messaging towards have a conversation with your children at dinner, or have a barbecue with your neighbors, so that your kids feel supported in their neighborhood or by their teachers and things like that. And then on Instagram, we try to target the children a little bit more directly. So we'll try to remind them of things going on. We post a lot of pictures of what we do with our Real Talk group, and hope that that excites other kids to want to get involved as well.
Right.
I did see signs about things that go on, like information sharing and at the high school and the middle school. So as someone who lives in town, I have seen, not having any teenagers of my own, I just kind of like, oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
But it is nice that I noticed it.
Right,
you know,
exactly.
that you have that presence that's very positive and is really out there.
Right.
So what are some of your favorite things that you've done recently with some of the kids there?
So we also plan a lot of community outreach events. So the kids were really instrumental in helping us plan our block party this year. So it was our second year doing that. It's during National Prevention Week. So it's a national week set aside to focus on a different prevention topic each week, and it's always in May. So either to kick off or to wrap up that week, we always have a block party on Saturday, and it's a free event, free food, free giveaways, a bounce house, face painter, and we had a really great turnout this year, and the kids really helped us plan that and run with it, so it was really fun.
Well, I guess they're the experts.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of the greatest things I think that came out of that event was we had a couple of youth do an escape room. So escape rooms are really becoming big now, and obviously juuling and e-cigarettes have been all over the news, all in the media. So a couple of girls in our group actually designed an escape room that was made to educate the community about the facts of e-cigarettes and juuling. So we actually called it Escape the Vape, and people had to find different clues around a conference room to get a passcode, and there was a story that went along with it, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have gone if I'd known that.
Yeah, it was really awesome. And so we had up to 15 to 20 different community providers that had information booths there. So all of our coalition members, so treatment resources, faith-based organizations, all just providing, the different services that are available to Vernon residents. So it was really awesome.
Well, I think it's great that you also get all of the different outreach programs together in one spot.
Exactly. Yep.
Because part of it is the networking. So this student needs this. I keep calling them students. The teen, because they're teens, they're not students for you, they're teens.
Yes.
When the teens have certain issues or concerns, you've actually met some of the people.
Exactly.
Is the block party on Elm Street? That's where your office is based out of?
Yes. Yeah.
Very good.
So it was right on Elm Street in the parking lot right outside of our office and the Union Church parking lot. The Youth Service Bureau of Vernon is our primary partner, and they're located right there, so it was perfect that we happened to be next door. So.
Oh, so there's an organization called Youth Services that you...
Yeah, so the Director of Youth Services, her name's Michelle Hill, she's the chairperson of the coalition. So the coalition really is like a town chartered group, and then we kind of manage the grant that helps support the coalition.
Wow, how long have you been doing that, and how'd you get involved with something like that?
Yeah,
that's not really something you think about.
Exactly.
When I grow up, I want to work for a coalition.
Exactly, yeah. I have a history of working in public health, and so substance abuse prevention is such like a public health topic right now. So that's why I got involved in this. The Village for Families and Children is actually who we work for. They have a grant from the Connecticut Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services that's called Partnership for Success. And that grant funds this prevention work. So the village applied for the grant for Vernon specifically because we have a location there, and we have a strong partnership with the Youth Service Bureau, and so that's how this got started. And that was about 2.5, 3 years ago now. So the Vernon Rocks Coalition actually used to be called the Vernon Drug and Alcohol Prevention Council.
Oh.
Yes, exactly. So we had a group of teens come up with a more friendly name, and Rocks actually stands for our mission, which is to provide resources and outreach for community knowledge and success. So that's what Rocks stands for.
Oh, I love acronyms.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's Rockville kind of too.
Yes.
So that's how that came about.
Oh, so, yeah, being fairly new to the area still, it's the whole
Yeah.
Vernon, Rockville. Some people call it Vernon Rockville, some Rockville.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like, hey, we're all one big happy
Exactly.
family.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was going to ask you about the vaping because that's really getting to be some serious things. And
It is.
as someone who has worked in middle schools and high schools, man, it's right there. It's happening all the time.
It
So is that something the kids are worried about?
Yeah, I mean, I think the kids that we work with definitely show concern. They tell us all the time that they see their peers doing it. It happens all the time at school. Sometimes they try to hide it. It's been getting a little bit more difficult to hide, I think, now that faculty and staff have really noticed how much of a problem it is. I think more attention is being drawn to it, but it is such an issue that's on the rise, and unfortunately a lot of young people don't realize the side effects or what really happens after vaping. So a lot of kids are getting, unfortunately, addicted to nicotine, and since vaping is so new, we really don't know what the long-term effects of vaping are, what that does to your lungs or your body, and how that's potentially going to affect people in the future.
So it sounds like that's all part. I mean, that's actually a drug. You know, you're
Right.
Yeah.
addicted to nicotine. It's
Exactly.
an addiction.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and the concentration in those little jewel things.
It's crazy.
And the way they
yes.
draw on those and blow,
Yeah.
it's like, are you kidding me?
Right.
So it's very difficult. It's difficult to catch even in the schools and
Yeah.
Yes. it
everything
is.
from allowing only one student at a time. I mean,
Right.
controlling bathroom time at a high
Yes.
school is, it can
Exactly.
be difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very difficult. So the teens that are involved, how do they find out about you and how do they sign up? Do they just say, "Oh, I heard about them. I'm going to go sign up"? Do they just walk in?
I mean, I guess it varies how we get some of our students. Some students are really involved at the high school and hear from us from other organizations that are, or other clubs that are in the high school, and then they start to work with us. We work pretty closely with the peer advocates group that is at the high school, so we try to partner with them on some events and help each other out. And then really some students, it's word of mouth, so their friends are in the group and they hear about it, they're really interested and want to get involved. And some students just completely reach out on their own. I think we've had one or two that have found our website, saw what we were about, and just emailed us saying that they want to get involved.
Yeah, and we offer them community service hours for their work with us, so that's a good benefit to them, and they're learning when they're with us as well.
I used to teach with a woman who ran the National Honor Society
Okay.
at the high school, and she was always looking for opportunities for her kids to get involved
Yes,
and get community
exactly.
service hours and
Yes.
to really see the inner workings of
Right.
organizations.
Yeah.
What are some of the events that maybe do they show up? You have a table set up.
Yeah, so we have tabling at the lunch waves at the high school, and
Oh,
we'll
okay.
play a game and then give them a prize, but also say, hey, this is the work that we're doing if you want to get involved. And usually we have some of the young people at the table talking about it because they'd rather hear from their friends than us.
Yeah.
And then we also have some events that are at the high school that we partner with them on. So I think that helps us, raise our awareness about us since we're still fairly new, with a new name at least. So one of those events is a community basketball tournament that we hold.
Oh.
So the kids play on 3-on-3 games against their teachers and against police officers. So it's a really fun event.
Yeah, I know. I've done that. Yeah. I wanted to play half court. They made us run the whole court. But that is a great way because then the teens get to see the adults as people.
Right, exactly.
Not as, that's a
Yes.
teacher, and they look shocked when they see it at the supermarket.
Right, exactly.
That's wonderful to partner up with the schools like that.
Yes. Yeah.
So we've been doing that event for the past 2 years, and from the first year to the second year, we really, really saw the event grow. And we typically do it in October and November, so we're hoping that this year it'll grow even more. We'll have even more participants. And we give out shirts that have our name and something basketball related on them, so it's really cool when we go back to the high school to table or do a different event or activity there and see kids wearing our shirts and just getting the message out there.
Wow.
Yep.
That sounds awesome. Now, they have a TV studio at the high school. Have you seen that? Is it
They
that-
do. Yep.
Yeah.
that might be something too that we can maybe work with you guys on.
Yes. Yeah.
I love seeing. I mean, even now we have students that are working behind the scenes and getting people involved with the whole television aspect of it.
Yeah.
Plus, it can help you guys.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this a year-round program?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
It's year round.
So it's not just in the summertime and.
Nope,
in the
it's year
school.
round. It actually kind of slows down a little bit in the summertime because everybody, has different vacations and things. But it's year round, so.
And you have to be a teenager to be part of the group.
To be part of Real Talk, to be part of the coalition, you can be, just a community member. So you can be anyone, really.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant to participate. The kids have to be a teenager. They can't be like in 6th grade or something.
They could be as long as they, felt comfortable. Most of the students that are involved right now are in high school, so, you wouldn't want just one 6th grader involved with all the other high schoolers. So, if they brought a friend and were like comfortable doing that, we would definitely consider middle schoolers as well.
Oh, yeah. It's a good bad situation putting middle schoolers with
Exactly.
high schoolers. It's, sometimes it's like, we'll see what you can do.
Right.
Graduate middle school, you get to high school, look at all this cool stuff. Versus, yikes, that's an 18-year-old talking to a 12-year-old.
Right. Exactly.
So you can kind of.
Exactly.
But to bring them in and show them this is what we have available to you.
Right.
Yeah.
There's my concern in the off time with there's just not a lot of things for the kids to do.
Right.
Either they're at home in front of the computer or maybe the TV nowadays. I don't know, but then to get them out of the house, get them involved with the community.
Right.
Do you see many of them? You've only done this for about 2 years, but do you see some of them coming back after each year? And
Oh, definitely.
what about when they graduate? Do they come back and say, "I wish I could do it some more"?
We only have, last year was the first year that we had new graduates,
Right.
so we did have a couple of people come back this summer and just say, like, hi, how have you been? So that was great to catch up with them, and I hope that the kids that just graduated this year come back and visit us. But
All right, you guys heard that, right?
Right.
Come back and visit. Let them know you're doing great.
Yes.
So what's the Facebook page? Is it Vernon Rocks?
Yeah,
for
so
Facebook?
all of our social media has the same handle. We want to be as easy to find as possible.
How'd you do that?
It was a little bit tricky.
It was a little bit tricky, but everything is at Vernon Rocks CT.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We couldn't even do that.
Yeah.
I was, trying to find one that nobody else has
Right.
and to use it for all across
Right.
the media. So I'll be sure to like it because I like to know what's going on in town. I like to
definitely.
support the local folks and teens and families. I mean, families out there, it seems like there's a lot of services for the younger kids, and then when you get your teenager, you're like, I don't know what to do with you, kid.
Exactly.
So that's great. How do you get the parents involved with the Facebook page?
Yeah, we have the most parents following our Facebook page, and sometimes they get really involved with sharing what we post and commenting and things like that. But I would say that's probably our biggest platform for parents.
Right, yeah.
and
We do
then-
need to get more parents involved with the coalition because we really would love to hear more of what they're seeing on the home front. So they attend our events, but so far we've kind of struggled with getting parents to come to our meetings, so.
So when you're looking for the parents' involvement, what would that entail? If I was a parent of a teenager and I said, well, I kind of want to get involved, but I work full time. And
Right.
frankly, when I get home, I don't want to go anywhere. So
Well,
what type
yeah.
of activities could a parent do that has a busy schedule?
I think, our meetings are right after school so that we can get the kids to come. So
Right.
it wouldn't really be convenient for most parents that are working full time. But just getting involved in some of our events, helping to, volunteer at the events, whether that's, at the registration table or depending on the event, but that kind of thing.
So it can be a one-off.
Yes,
it doesn't
it
have
can
to be
be.
an overcommitment. You can just say, I'll show up for this one.
Yep.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
kind of how I am. I can't commit to something so far in
Yes.
advance.
Yeah,
It's
I
like,
get that,
Oh, it's
totally.
Saturday? Okay, I'll show up.
Yeah.
So you just pop onto the Facebook page and your events are posted
Yes.
there? That's
Yeah,
good
we
to
always
know.
try to post to let people know if it's an event we're hosting, that it's coming up, or if it's another community event that we're going to be attending. We try to let people know to look out for us. We try to get involved in other community events as well, wherever we think that we would have a good reach for the population we're trying to target. So I would say even involvement at just tabling and giving others information at tables for other community events as well.
Sometimes it can be difficult when the teenager says, what do you mean? Nah, I don't want you there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's also can be tough. The kids don't feel as relaxed
Right.
when mom or dad
right.
is there.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
at a big event, tabling. I never heard it said that way. Tabling?
Tabling, yeah.
I love that. Tabling. I knew exactly what you meant when you said it. It's like I pictured it. You get the cloth over the table.
Right,
and
exactly.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
Yes.
I got it. I could do that.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that, right?
Yeah.
It's easy.
I'll have to get on there and
Yeah.
check that out. The organization, The Village.
Yep.
And so that is a community service organization,
It
and you
is.
guys fall up underneath them.
Yes, yes. So the Village for Families and Children is primarily based in Hartford, but they are the parent organization of Kid Safe Connecticut, which is located in Vernon on Elm Street. So that's where we're housed. So the Village is a nonprofit organization that strives to just promote families and protect children. So we have a lot of children and family-based programs, either in the community or therapeutic supports. We have a foster care program, those types of programs.
And when you're talking about the different programs, the foster programs, you can all partner up with all your other groups. So that's a part of the wraparound services.
Yeah, so we're like the prevention end of all of that.
Right. So
yeah.
you're the let's stop it before it starts.
Exactly.
And then they're
But
there
if
in
not,
case-
then we also have a treatment provider in Hartford. So if we didn't catch at prevention and you are using, we do offer treatment for adults.
And I understand you're not representing Kids Safe, but what's something about them I'm not really familiar with? What Kids Safe does?
Kid Safe has been around for a long time in Vernon. It's actually, the main focus of it is child abuse prevention. So we have a range of different parenting programs, different programs that help support parents and protect kids from child abuse.
Yeah, that's tough. You know, you're working with teenagers. I've worked with them, and it can be very distressing.
Yes.
And you're trying to be the calm, cool one. Meanwhile, you want to go cry in a corner somewhere.
Exactly.
because-
Some of their stories are heart-wrenching.
So it's great to hear about these proactive
Yes.
and some of the things they're learning: leadership skills,
Exactly.
organization skills. I mean, and I'm dying to see the yearbook when that comes out. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
Is that something where each kid's going to be able to take one home, or like how is it going to be an actual book, or is it?
No.
No,
See, I knew it.
So right now it's a yearbook formatted poster is
Okay.
how we kind of do things. So it looks like a student's yearbook photo and then would have maybe some superlatives next to it or a message next to it that's related to school or to getting involved in after-school activities or things like that. So it has the appearance of a yearbook, but it's really just a different way to try to draw kids in.
Yeah, that would catch my attention.
Yes.
It definitely would. The concern I've had as an individual working with teens is that the cost of the after-school activities, that can really be prohibitive
Right.
to a lot of kids.
Yeah. I
So
know.
this sounds like an awesome alternative. It doesn't cost them anything. The
Yep.
grant provides it.
Exactly.
Sounds like a lot of different social skills too.
Exactly.
You know, you got to work with this whole group of kids. You may not sit with that lunch,
Right.
but when you come to Vernon Rocks, we're all one.
Right.
We're all one
Exactly.
message.
I think
Yeah.
that's one of the best things is that a lot of the teens that are part of Real Talk weren't friends originally. And so now that they've been working together, you know, I think they're better friends than they were. So it's pretty awesome to see that.
Excellent. That is a great connection.
Right.
Are there any events or things coming up that are, like you say, in October, things that you do all the time or you're planning to do again? So October, you want to do the basketball.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's always a lot of fun.
Yes.
Do you have anything else?
Yeah, every
coming up?
October and April we participate in the DEA Drug Take Back Days. So we partner with Walgreens and the police department on that. So it's right out front of the Walgreens in Rockville. It's usually, I think, like the third week of the month in October and April.
Yeah.
And you just come, you drop off any prescription drugs that you have that, you know, maybe you were overprescribed and you didn't want to take them or you had a bad reaction. You don't want those hanging out in your house, especially if you have teenagers that might be, you know, a little bit curious. So you can just drop them off, no questions asked, and the police department turns them over to the DEA and they get rid of them safely.
And what I found out, because I had some leftover medication, is anytime you want, you can go to the Vernon Police
Yes,
Department.
of course.
You walk in, they got like this mailbox.
little
like
mailbox,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
And it's like, oh, all right then, and just drop it in, you walk
Yeah,
out. And
exactly.
it's handled safely.
Yep.
It's handled in a way that it can't contaminate the groundwater.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you just show up anytime. The police station's open 24/7.
Yes.
So it's always there. But it's great that the community is getting used to it. I do notice that the Vernon police are very visible.
They are.
And they make sure that they want to be a part of the community. So that was, at first it was quite intimidating when I first started meeting the police department because they're all
Yes.
like, and yet they're such nice people.
They're so nice. They've been one of our best partners.
Yeah.
They really
I can see
partner
that.
with like everything, every event. They help us out, so it's really awesome.
They did a great job. I did an event recently that there was a lot. It's the New England Motorcycle Museum. The owner there, he likes to do a lot of things with the teens. So maybe you guys can talk to Ken Kaplan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he is all for getting kids involved with like hands-on things and
Right.
motorcycles and dirt bikes. I don't know where he was when I was a teen. I would have been there, but he's got this great dirt track over there. So
Oh, that's cool.
he
Yeah.
wants to be embedded and help the community grow.
Awesome.
So I'd love to see you guys partner up with him. He's got some exciting ideas. But then again, he's the guy he's got all these ideas.
Right,
And
right.
it takes one of you guys to say, okay, Ken, we'll bring it down.
Yes.
But I think you might find something that you guys can do, especially in the summertime
Yes.
when you said it gets slow, that maybe that could be something.
Yeah, that's a great
I
suggestion.
might volunteer for that one. I don't know. I might be there for that one.
Yeah.
So is there anything else? Cassie, did I cover, is there anything else you want to bring up before we go?
I don't know. I mean, I think you've hit on a lot of it. I guess my biggest suggestion would just to be stay tuned on our Facebook, keep checking to see what else we have coming up and what's out in the community.
Excellent. And Vernon Rock CT.
Yes.
I love it.
Exactly.
Thank you both for coming in tonight.
Thank you
This
for
was a
having
great
us.
time.
Yes.
You guys got great energy for this.
Oh yeah, we could talk forever.
I see that. I'll have to get it on your webpage. I'm definitely going to like you on Facebook. I
Thank you.
love to get involved with local things and local people. That's the whole
Great.
idea of CVC.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm so excited. I'm so glad you came in. So my name is Joyce Vaudreuil with CVC. If you're interested in learning how to use the equipment here, just log on to our webpage, cvctv.org, and contact Melanie or Nick and let them know that you want to learn how to not just watch TV, but make it. Thank you.